Welcome to another episode of Financial Fashion Talk Podcast, episode 55. And this is your podcast for personal development. I'm the CEO, Mr. John Best.
And it's your boy, Riley Best, the CFO.
And we really want to introduce to you guys a segment that we came up with recently, and it's called King Conversations. It's conversations for our young kings. Our young kings talking about the mindset that we have, talking about growing, talking about maturity, and I ain't talking about just age. So let's get into it, man. I really wanted to get into detail about having a king mentality, because when I first came up with this idea, what I first thought about is the mindset of a king. When you think about the mindset of a king, what are the first things you think about?
When I think about the mindset of a king, the first thing that comes into my mind is royalty. It's a royal position. With that being said, it's a lot that comes into play with royalty. You know what I'm saying? You know, how you carry yourself,
Thanks.
The mentality that you have, your concern for people, your concern for yourself. It's a real high level, a high wave of thinking to me.
The thing about a king that I noticed is the self-image, how they view themselves. And I think that's the determining factor when we're talking about confidence and a mentality and your mindset. Really what develops a strong mindset is really how you see yourself. And so what I mean by having a king mentality is that confidence. You walking in your purpose, you walking in who you are. So that's what I want to kind of send a message to the young kings. We have to have a focus and we have to be more goal oriented in life. And I kind of want to talk about some of those things that could help them kind of grow into a king mentality, because a king don't start out a king. You be a prince first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to grow up and grow into a king.
Right.
What are some of the things in the process that can help a person grow mentally to another level?
Man, but I think, what will be conducive to a person's mental development, growing into that stature, is truly taking account of who you are, finding out who you are first, and then going down that avenue of what you need to subtract and what you need to add to yourself, man. I think that self-assessment is a very important part, of forming that mentality, that king mentality.
Some people come into this world with a natural aura of confidence. I feel like all of us have that. All of us have a certain level of confidence. And I feel like we should harness that. We should grow that confidence, and we should take our talents and take our gifts and help us to develop into a great person, character-wise, and as far as your integrity, as far as how, like you said earlier, how you treat people. And how you treat yourself. When I was talking about the mindset of a king, when I think about a king, I think about one who rules, one who controls. Main message that I do want to get out, that we are in control of our actions, and that we have to think like that every day. We are in control of our actions, meaning that we are in control of our future as well. And the more that we realize that we are in control of our actions, and that we are in control of our future, I feel like we'll start kind of paying attention to the things that we do every day. You have two types of people. You got a person that's of value, and you got a person that's of destruction. So you really got a choice to make. What type of king do you want to be? We all developing into different people. We're growing every day. Whether we growing into a positive direction or a negative direction, we changing every single day. So the question is is you going to be a person of value, or are you going to be a person of destruction? I want the young king, whatever young king that's looking at this footage or this content, decide whether you want to be a valuable person. I want you to be a valuable person and not a person of destruction. And that's the main thing we want to tell our followers and our listeners. We want everybody to be valuable to themselves, because you are what you eat. So in your life, so just talk about it, bro.
I agree with that 100%. You definitely have to take this under consideration. You got to take a lot of things under consideration when you going into that, man. And like you just said, be mindful of what you want to be. And I say this, take in what you want to put out, because it's going to happen anyway, regardless of the results that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful and deliberate of the action. The test comes from the trial, and whether you pass or fail is completely up to you. That's why you have to be deliberate and on purpose, with your action, because the results are gonna come out either way it goes.
And act like a king and think like a king. You know what I'm saying? Move with that mindset, and whatever calling that you're trying to go after, man. I don't care what profession you going after. If you go after it with that mindset of I'm a king, I'm a person of value, it's certain things that you're not gonna fall into sometimes. It really depends on what you feeding yourself, but I'm saying the person that want to be productive. A productive person gonna feed himself things that's gonna make him productive. Just like a person that he play a physical sport. Like we know a lot of people that box. Now, in order for that person to go to another level in his boxing career, he have to work and make sacrifices. So that means there's certain things he gotta put in his diet, some things he gotta take out of his diet. Certain sacrifices of what you gotta run further in the morning.
Right.
You gotta try to get quicker on your feet. You gotta get your footwork right. There's so many things that you're supposed to do to develop into the person that you want to become. And it's a difference in each calling. Each individual is different. But the main thing I'm trying to say is that whatever it is, have a high mindset, to have a high picture of yourself in your head, right? Because it's a lot of negativity in today's society, through the media, through social media, through the music. It's a lot of stuff that's causing us to look at ourselves in a negative way, when really we kings.
And it's really not conducive to the progression in our life. You know what I'm saying? I know you spoke about the physical aspect of a box, but really, I think that's like, it's not the least part of it, but mentally, like, you gotta be prepared to stand in there and get hit. You gotta be prepared for that. So like, you can train all you want to. You can have even boxers that look great. We do a lot of times. Like you were just talking about social media. A lot of times we post because they look good. It's not about that. It's about the mindset that you're taking with you in the ring. It's about the mindset that you're taking with you through your life. Saying once you start to actually analyze and know what you want out of life, then you take that mentality, and it has to be formulated, but you have to take that same mentality into the ring with you. Every situation, you know, and if you're tired of the results that you get, just go back to the drawing board.
If you want to be a better person, it's going to automatically seep over into whatever you're doing in life. So like if you get up and work on your character and you want to box, you're going to automatically, see, you don't want to look in the mirror and not be proud of yourself because you think too much of yourself. So it's like when you start building your character, bro, I want to be the best I possibly can be, and you want to accept nothing else, then it ain't even going to be about boxing. It ain't about boxing no more. It's about being the best person you can possibly be. And that's a king mentality. That's the king mentality that I want everybody to draw out of themselves, because it's deep down. But if you focus on it, and that's what I'm learning too, transition into talking about something else with the king mentality. We got to seek knowledge. It's most of us in our communities, we have a shortage of information, and a lot of information is not put in the forefront. That means you got to seek for it. And a lot of stuff is free and we don't even know it's free. Stuff in books, you know, it's stuff on YouTube videos. There's a lot of stuff that you kings out there can look into to grow yourself personally and grow yourself mental, and anything that you're trying to do. And that exposure, you got to create that exposure. Like, let's talk about exposure, because we know it is a shortage of exposure.
Most definitely, it is. But you know, I feel like this, man, it has to be personal. You know what I'm saying? We get a hold to information. We do get a hold to information, whatever the way we get a hold to it. It's all about what you're gonna do with it. Like, I can have a screwdriver, but see, if I don't know how to use it, I just got a screwdriver. Like, yeah, man, you got to understand what direction you're going in. Like, you have to understand what you want to do.
That's it, what you just said, being goal oriented.
Right.
That's really what it is. I kind of find it hard not to be goal oriented when you're building your character. It's something about knowing that you want to be better than what you are today. Like, with that mindset of just, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. It's something that happens. With that mindset, it's something that happens. I really can't explain what exactly happened, but stuff just starts working out when you make a goal in your head to be better, versus a person that wake up and don't have no intentions of being better. And it's just something just happened different for that particular person that just want to be the best. And that's, hey, I keep saying it, king mentality. King mentality. Right. King conversations. And these are the conversations that we need to have more of in our communities, so our young kings grow up a more stable and a more consistent and conducive mindset. And I'm not saying that we're gonna be perfect, because we face things in life every day. Trials and tribulations all make us who we are. You gotta be relentless. I've never seen a weak king. Really, what make a king, him not being weak. You got a choice in the decision to make. You can be a person of value or a person of destruction. So I'm talking about a king of value. Kings of value, and their mindset gonna be different. It's gonna be productive.
And it's more like a broad perspective, like a longevity perspective. We face things on a daily basis. In this journey, it's not gonna be easy. Doing something positive once is not gonna solidify everything after that. You have to continue in that. You have to continue in it, because it's gonna come a place and time in your life where you're gonna have to be strong. All of the experiences that we have, that we get from life, like, they're only to make us better. No matter what the situation is, it's there to make us better. Change our perspective on life and our outlook on life, and knowing that it's always possible to a king. A king does not face something with a mindset of defeat. A king faces things with, I got this. Like, it ain't no possible way I can lose. And that's how we gotta look at it, even though, you know, sometimes things.
I do wanna tell y'all about this book that I'm reading, but it's an amazing book. It's called The Compound Effect. If you guys haven't heard of it, I'm pretty sure you have, by Darren Hardy. What I really took away from the book so far, man, I only got into chapter 1, but I love reading complex books. You dig what I'm saying? So what I'm learning from this book is about small, smart choices that you make. It's about small, smart choices that you make consistently to get you to a greater place in the future. I want to make this point. We have a habit of, let me be personal, I've had a habit of starting and not finishing. You don't get the results that you want right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? saying? It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about you consistently continue to go regardless of how it looks and how you feel.
But see, that comes from environment. We live in a society, you can go to the grocery store and we can buy a dinner and throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes and then you got a whole dinner. So like we take that mentality and we apply it to life.
Microwave mentality.
Yeah, exactly, man. Microwave like we want everything instantly, you know, man. But it don't work like that. There was a time when I was in the gym, I was working out crazy. Everybody called me meathead, all that blase, I'm growing out of shirts. But I didn't get to that place till after a whole year.
It's a whole journey, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this new segment that we created. And it's gonna be more than one episode. It's gonna actually be like a series, King Conversations. And we wanna have conversations like these more often. I know the queens can listen to it too, but it's more so our young leaders out there, because that's really, man, that's what we need. We need young leaders. For our queens to follow, we gotta have somebody to lead. To the young kings, we need to build our mindset up. We need to grow ourselves and we need to be productive to ourselves. We're not talking where we wanna be complete. Right, we're still in growth. You know what I'm saying? We're growing and we're growing together. Right. So the only thing we're doing is motivating, and we're sending the messages to everybody that want to hear it, that need to hear it. And we appreciate for everybody that has been listening thus far. Right. Shouts out to the incremental movement, the online presence that we created for people that are goal achieving and people that are goal setting. We want to create a community of people that won't judge you. A lot of times it's not safe to share your goals and stuff with people. It's great. It's a great energy. It's a great community. So if you don't know about the Incremental Movement, you'll be able to find it on Facebook at Incremental Movement.
Riley Best on Facebook, IG, Riley.best.1. And I think it's the best ever 87 IG.
Oh yeah. You can find both of us on Facebook at our business page on Facebook, Financial Fashion Clothing Co. And that's with spaces in between it. You'll find it. It'll come up. Follow me on Facebook. You add me at John Michael Best. And on IG, I'm Mr. John Best. And also follow us on IG, the business page, Financial Fashion 2017. Thank all of the kings and queens for tuning in to Financial Fashion Talk Podcast, episode 5. Oh, Mr. John Best.
And it's Mr. Riley Best.
King mentality and the two kings is gone.
Yes, sir.